if you've got a project that you've been working on and you've got two options, you either abandon it or finish it. Okay. And I would say if you're going to finish it, do the most viable, like easiest version of that and get it off your plate so you can go work on something out. And what that means is like maybe you don't do the full graphic novel because the graphic novel is 120, 150 pages of comic story, and that takes a couple years if you're working on it part-time, right? Maybe what you do is the world of X, and it's all your concept art and it's all your notes. You make a little book, put it together, and people can read through, and it's just an exploration of the world of what you're building. There's some story in there, there's some character design, there's some world design in there, whatever. If it's a children's book, just make I would say polish the illustrations just enough and make a PDF finished with a cover, whatever, and go sell it in your on your Big Cartel site, your Etsy site, or just give it away. Just have it as like a freebie. You come to your site and you're like, hey, check out my book. Maybe it's a page that you have where you could scroll down and read through it, just so that it exists and it lives and it's something somewhat a little bit more polished, a little bit more finished. Doesn't have to be every illustration totally finished, but it could be like 3 key ones and then black and white illustration, something like that. So find a version of it you can finish it and get it off your plate and move on to something else. So that's that. If you're going to abandon it, here's good reasons that you should abandon something. I've been writing them down while we've been talking. Mm-hmm. Number one, no longer passionate about it. Okay. You just don't have the passion for it. Okay. And that could be because has your lifestyle changed? Maybe you started this in college, this idea, and now you've got a kid and your kid just doesn't give you the time to work on this anymore. It's okay to abandon it. You could put it aside. Maybe your identities.
I call that you've lost that love and feeling.
You've lost that. Maybe you've lost the love and feeling. Maybe your identity's changed. Like this story idea that you've had is something written by someone who's cute and fuzzy, but now you do more edgy stuff. Okay, that's a good reason to abandon it. Or maybe just your priorities change. Maybe like for you right now, making money on a consistent basis, month to month, set amount of money is like more priority, and you've got a job that's managing that. And working on this is going to take away from that. Go ahead and abandon your project because priorities have changed. Okay, so that's it. Number two, maybe the scope. Think about the original idea and maybe your scope has changed. Has it gotten bigger? Has it gotten, has it turned into, instead of a short story to a full, I've got this idea for a character and now it's a short story and now it's a graphic novel. And now it's like 9 graphic novels that you want to do. Like dial back that scope and do this finished version of it, or go ahead and set it aside until that one day you have time to do it. Number 3, time is a factor. Maybe, I guess a life change could mean you just don't have time for it. The other thing is ability. Maybe your ability isn't there yet. You're getting bad feedback from people. Your critique group isn't excited about it. Editor isn't coming back excited about it. You can't crack the story. You've just hit this wall where the vision that you have exceeds your ability. Abandon it. Go increase your craft, your ability, get better, and then maybe approach it when you're able to draw, the figure better. And this is a story that is mostly like humans happening in it or something. And then I would say, lastly, check and see if there's still a need for this project, if there's still a market fit for it. Okay. So perhaps you're like, oh, I've got this idea for this great children's book. I'm working on it for so long. It's called Super Cute Nancy, or Where the Crazy Things Are, right? Well, we already have Fancy Nancy. We already have Where the Wild Things Are. Maybe your idea, nobody really needs it. They don't need that version. Maybe you've got this thing called Sun Wars, and it's all about this like fantasy adventure in space, right? But take a good, honest look at it and see, okay, And what I'm creating here just a version of what's already out there, or is it something unique enough that it does fill a need for people? Okay. And it could be, maybe your idea is it's Star Wars, but it's all cute animals. Is there something like that already? I don't know. Don't steal that idea. I think I'm going to do that actually. So, and so just make sure that you, that it's still, there's still a viable audience for it. And if it's just a small audience, maybe, make sure you're okay with that. If it's like, well, there's got to be 1,000 people who are into this thing that I'm into, then maybe that's okay. Maybe you do a Kickstarter and sell 1,000 books.